Comes from Prague. It is Sparta against Rangers. It's live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. You'll get us on digital, on sounds, online of course at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. So full live commentary right now with Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Richards. Welcome to Prague in the IPET Arena, or Stadion Letna as it's otherwise known, and after a successful debut as Rangers manager, Philippe Clement faces an altogether stiffer test this evening against the Czech champions Sparta Prague, unbeaten at home all season as we've been hearing. In fact, they've won 8 of 9, drawing only with Copenhagen in a Champions League qualifier. Emerging from this match with anything at all is a tall order for Rangers, whose European away record is nothing short of dreadful. Can Clement inspire an upturn in those particular fortunes as they seek to build on Saturday's 4-0 thumping of Hibernian? The players out there on the turf just going through the handshakes. Rangers are in an away kit of a white top, blue shorts and white socks. As Richard was saying, the atmosphere in here is tremendous. It isn't a big arena, it is about 18,000 as Tomo mentioned, but they're certainly making themselves heard prior to kick-off here. Just to mention, word reaches us pre-match that Philippe Clement told TNT Sports in his pre-match interview that Rangers are going to play 3 at the back, but I must say that in a quick discussion with Tomo here, we can't quite work out how that would play out in terms of who would play, say, left wing back for instance. They certainly warmed up as a 4, and that more often than not indicates the way they actually will play, the shape they will take up during the game, but not always. So we will see. Ben Davies looked like he was going to play in at left back, but Tomo will keep a close eye on that and bring everyone up to speed as soon as it becomes apparent. Now, Sparta Prague have just taken the tracksuit tops off. They are in their home kit of a maroon, very Hearts-like maroon top with white shorts and black socks, as the German officials go through the coin toss with the respective captains, James Tavernier, of course, of Rangers, and Philippe Panak of Sparta Prague, who takes the armband in the absence of Ladislav Krejci. Krejci, one of 2 big players missing for the home side, which has got to be good news for Rangers. Lukáš Haraslin, also their Slovakian top goal scorer this season, is also out with injury. So Rangers, if they're looking for news to buoy them ahead of this, that would certainly have gone down well. I must say that just as the team's prepared to kick off, it does look like it might be a 3 at the back, with Tavernier more advanced than even than normal as Rangers prepared to kick off. They've changed ends actually, so Rangers will go from left to right as we look at it from pretty high position up above the main stand in this gantry. It's a good view we've got here as Sparta Prague just break out from their huddle, and the German referee Sasha Stegemann about to get us underway here in the Czech Republic. I must agree with Derek and the guys that any sort of point from this game would have to go down as a good one for Rangers, particularly given the performance and results out in Limassol a few weeks back. They can't be as bad as that again, surely, as they do get us underway. And Sima back to Lundstrom, and then immediately John Suter. And down the right-hand side it goes. Tavernier slips though, and Sparta Prague will pick up down that left-hand side. Tomo, it does appear to be the 3 at the back.
Yeah, it looks that way just now. I mean, I don't know whether it's Sima that's going to be playing left wing back, but certainly they've lined up with the 3 centre-halves. Obviously Tavernier on this right-hand side. Sima's a very attacking player. How he'll do defensively, we'll wait and see.
Well, Sparta themselves play a 3-4-3, so there's maybe an element of matching up with them as well, but now Tavernier's dropped into what looks like a right-back position as well. So we'll just try and keep across that, and it might be a fairly fluid formation for Rangers, but it is Sparta Prague coming forward down the right-hand side, and an early opportunity for Preciado, the Ecuadorian wing-back, to get forward. That cross is blocked away by Lundstrom, who had a a dreadful evening in Limassol, gave away the second goal, and he'll be looking to improve upon that. Raskin's done well to win it on the left-hand side for Rangers. He was excellent against Hibs, scoring his first Rangers goal, and he allows Sima to take over. Sima comes forward. A former Slavia Prague man is getting the treatment from the home fans, but he's almost at the byline. Knocked away by Panak inside the Sparta penalty area. Good work though from Lammers to win it back for Rangers, and then it's all the way back to Golson on the halfway line. Rangers looking to try and keep possession early on, try and frustrate their hosts, who have not dropped a point here at home in the league, and have been rattling in an average of more than 3 goals a game. So it's a tough place to come and try and get anything. Copenhagen drew 3 each year in the Champions League qualifier. That was after extra time, and they went on to win on penalties. That's the only thing resembling a defeat that Sparta have experienced here this particular season. Preciado gets his head to a diagonal ball, knocks it out of play before Sima could get there. It's a throw into Rangers over on the far side. Rangers do look to be a lot more settled. Derek and I were out in Limassol. Tomo, you watched it back in the studio, but there seems to be more of a calmness to them this evening.
It's been a comfortable opening couple of minutes, that's for sure. They're getting plenty of the ball. Sima getting into the final third, just his delivery let him down. But yeah, I mean, they're certainly getting a lot of touches of the ball, which is what you want to see. Get used to the surface.
Butland goes long. Dessers won't get there though, and it's headed forward by Sorensen. A fellow Dane for the manager, Brian Priske here. One of 2 in the starting lineup, with the goalkeeper Peter Vindal Jensen as well. Another thing Stephen and I were remarking on pre-match that I didn't quite get around to mentioning in the team news was how lightweight the Rangers bench looks. There's really only 3 senior outfield players on there in the shape of Ryan Jack, Scott Wright and Danilo. The rest is very young, very inexperienced. You've got Leon King, I suppose, who's got a fair bit of experience even in European football, but he is still a teenager himself. So Rangers very short of options should they need some inspiration. Here's John Suter though, midway inside his own half, finds Sima, quickly challenged well by Preciado, breaks back the way, and Ben Davies just knocks it out of play over on the far side. That's the Sparta right, and it'll be taken by Preciado. Just about 10 yards inside Rangers territory. Certainly an unfamiliar role for Abdallah Sima, who's been in such electrifying form in front of goal this season.
He really has. He's been Rangers' main threat. Obviously, others haven't quite stepped up to the plate, but his goal return has been excellent, and actually, he's a really good outball and outlet for Rangers when they are under pressure. His pace is so quick, and they might need that tonight if they're going to be playing in the counter-attack, but it doesn't look like they're going to be having to soak up too much pressure. Only 5 minutes in so far, but they seem very, very comfortable on the ball at the minute.
Yeah, long may that continues. Back with Butland inside his own penalty area. Tries to go long, but that's cut out. It was a poor clearance, and Ben Davies has to step in to head forward to Lammers. It's a poor ball by Lammers, and that's the opposite of what you want to see early on from Lammers, who you would just want to get a decent touch, a decent pass, and get his confidence up, because he does look like a player who's really low in confidence. It's Sparta coming forward, and it's really good play down the left-hand side. Opens up for Sparta here. Good save, Butland on the rebound. Brilliant save again, and Butland to the rescue, not for the first time for Rangers, as Birmancevic threatened to carve them open. Brilliant double save. Here comes Sparta once more. The first time Rangers have been under pressure in the game, and Butland was required not once but twice.
He really should have scored. Birmancevic, superb skill on the left-hand side, cutting inside 2 Rangers players, pops off the 1-2. He's one-on-one with Butland, only probably 6 yards out, hits it straight at Butland. He gets a decent enough stop to it, goes out into the penalty spot area. The follow-up shot again, pretty much straight at Butland. 2 good saves you'd expect him to make, but really, I think Sparta should have scored there.
Warning sign then for Rangers, who had looked comfortable in these opening 5 minutes, but all of a sudden Birmancevic, who tormented them when he played for Malmo, helped put them out of the Champions League qualifiers on that occasion, and he almost put them behind this evening. Arguably should have done after terrific build-up play. I'm not quite sure who got the shot on the rebound either, but Butland was equal to that as well, and the goal remains goalless after almost 6 minutes, but certainly the first chance. It was Lachi actually who got the shot on the rebound.
Yeah, he probably should have done a wee bit better as well. He was maybe bobbling a wee bit towards him, but it was an electric play. It really was from Brmancevic.
Yeah, Serbian looks like a quality player playing on the left-hand side for Sparta. It's behind for a Rangers goal kick. Just over 6 minutes on the clock, and that certainly got the home fans on their feet. They were already making a bit of a racket, and that certainly lifted their spirits as well, albeit they will feel they should have been in front. So we're in front against Betis out in Seville a few weeks back before that was turned around and they lost 2-1. They had to turn around a deficit themselves here at home against Aris in the opening fixture before eventually winning 3-2, which is why the group is still on a knife edge going into this match day 3. There's Ben Davies touching it back to Butland inside his own 6-yard box. He'll look to clear long up towards Dessers. Dessers beaten in there, but it falls for Lammers. Now back with Tavernier. Midway inside the Sparta half. Raskan calls for it and gets it, and then plays it out to the left-hand side now for Sima up against Preciado. Tries to cut in field. Almost gets away from Preciado. Now finds Cantwell at the edge of the box. Can't get the room for the shot just at the moment. Holds on to possession. He's looking for the pass back to Suter. Suter now midway inside the Sparta half. Forward for Raskan. He can't keep it. Does get it onto Tavernier though. Tavernier at the edge of the box. Lammers battling away for it. Can't keep it though. And Sparta emerge with possession, and they're able to clear the lines up towards the halfway line, and Lundstrom collects possession and plays it short to Ben Davies. He goes back to goals and playing at the centre of that defensive three. John Suter takes a chance against Brmancevic, who gets away with it and then tries a big switch of play from right to left. Won't reach Sima though. Preciado gets his head
4 or 5
to it.
times they've tried that pass. Alistair's not come off once yet. Diagonal to Sima.
Raskan's been penalised, and the Sparta fans didn't like that challenge. Looked a reasonable one to me, but the referee has given the free kick, and he'll just go across to make sure Preciado's okay before deciding upon any further action towards the Belgian.
Opposite side of the pitch from us, so we couldn't actually see the contact on the challenge. There is a monitor about 10 feet to our right. Try and get a look at it just now. Nah, there's nothing in that for me. I don't think there's much in that at all, really. But it does seem to be injured. I
think it's maybe a clash of knees as much as anything else. As we get a shot of the Danish manager Brian Priska sporting a natty polo neck down on the touchline. Former teammate of Philippe Clement back in their playing days in Belgian football. He was also assistant manager at Midtjylland when Rangers played them a few years back, and Kenneth Anderson, who was the manager, was promptly sacked after that defeat by Rangers, and Priska then took over. But he's got a bit of concern here over Preciado, who is back up on his feet after treatment. He'll have to go off because Raskan wasn't booked, so he will have to just hobble off, and he looks like he's moving
he's a bit gingerly.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Raskan almost pulls out the challenge, but you might be right about a wee clash of knees just when the contact was made, but definitely not a yellow. Phil's just about right. I think he'll be okay. Run it off.
9.5 on the clock then as play resumes. And it's still 0-0, although Sparta with 2 chances in the one move, really. Brmancevic and then Lashi denied by Jack Butland, who has had to look lively over the course of his short Rangers career already. He's kept him in games at times, as his predecessor Alan McGregor often did as well, and he has proved invaluable as Tavernier just hoists it forward, but out of play for a Sparta Prague throw-in on the left-hand side, just down below us.
Raskan was free in the middle. He's letting Tavernier know the ball inside would have been the preferred option. It's a bit of a wasteful pass from Tavernier down the right-hand side.
Here is Martin Vitek, one of the centre-backs, the right-hand centre-back for Sparta Prague. They play it forward, but Goldson is able to touch that back to Butland, who then plays it out once more to Goldson. He's just taking a chance there at the back, but he gets it forward to Lammers, who takes a decent touch and then finds Raskan left-hand side, about 15 yards inside his own half. He's looking for options. He goes back to Goldson, who has to touch it back to Butland again under some pressure there from Kuchta. Good pass out from the back this time from Butland, who gets it to Cantwell, forward by Suter. Dessers will chase that, but he's never getting to it before the goalkeeper, who just lets it run into his penalty area, picks it up and then immediately rolls it out to his captain, Philippe Panac, who didn't play against Aris here, but he did start against Betis. Been at the club since 2019. It's back now with Jensen, the Danish goalkeeper. 11 minutes played. It's Sparta 0, Rangers 0. Rangers still looking for their first opportunity of the game. That's a good ball through. Golson struggling here. Out comes Butland again before Sparta can make anything of it. It's a good ball through, and Golson was toiling for pace there.
He was, yeah. I mean, it was good goalkeeping from Butland. He read the situation and came out. It was almost as a sweeper to clear the danger, but it's probably closer than comfort for Rangers. Golson looking a wee bit flat-footed in the race with the, how would you pronounce that?
Rinesh.
Esh?
Yeah.
Okay, Rinesh.
Yeah, the left wing back was the furthest forward player there. And Golson was really toiling as the fans here hold up banners, and there's a display here. I can't quite read what it says, but it's pretty impressive looking.
It says, "Let's go, Sparta," Alistair.
So it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's one of those impressive tifos around two of the stands here, crossing the far side, and then off to our right as Golson again has to block off Kuchta, as just look to be struggling for pace once more, and that's something that Sparta will look to try and exploit, you would imagine, over the course of the rest of the game. 12.5 minutes played here in Prague.
Yeah, I mean, it's been certainly a better start to the game than the game in Limassol for Rangers. Obviously that scary moment with the opportunity to double save from Butland. They've had more of the ball without really doing too much with it. A lot of long diagonal balls, maybe not finding Sima. Desser's struggling to get involved in the game, hardly had a touch so far in the game, so we need to add that to the performance, but so far so good.
Comes Sparta down the right hand side. It's forward for Kuchta up against Golson, right hand side of the penalty area. Hasn't got too much support, but he does find the ball back to Preciado. He crosses in from the right hand side. Suter misses it. Tavernier gets it clear to the edge of the box. Birmancevic gets a shot blocked by Tavernier. Cantwell does well to hold on to possession under pressure, moves away from two challenges and then tries to clip it up looking for Sima, but he's off with the pass and it's intercepted pretty comfortably at the back there by Vitic, and Sparta have it back once more.
It's good play from Cantwell initially, driving in the pitch, gets away from 2 or 3 players and then just tries to clip a ball out into the feet of Sima. Poor pass in the end, and that's what it's breaking down for Rangers in the opening 13-14 minutes as that final third. The build up to it has been okay, but once they get in there, it's breaking down too often.
Sparta have it at the edge of their own penalty area. With 14 minutes played, no goals, so we'll keep you up to date with any goals that go in Limassol as well between Aris and Real Betis, as the captain Panac plays it through, and then there's another attempted ball cut out by John Suter, and he had to make that interception. Otherwise it was Rinesh again who was furthest advanced, and he might well have been in on goal, but Rangers have it now through Tavernier, midway inside his own half. He tries to clip it looking for Dessers. That's a good ball. Dessers might be in here, but it just skips off the turf and goes through to Jensen in the Sparta goal. Nice idea from Tavernier, just too much on it. Dessers almost intercepting the pass out from the back there.
It was a better pass from Tavernier, again looking to go in behind the Sparta defence. Dessers not the quickest centre forward I've ever seen, and it did skip off the turf through to the goalkeeper.
Panac has it at the back for Sparta. Forward it goes to Karabets and out to Preciado. Infield he comes, plays a good ball and allows Sorensen to come forward from the back up towards the edge of the penalty area. It goes now to Rinesh, left hand side. His cross is blocked by Tavernier at the expense of a corner to Sparta with a quarter of an hour on the clock. They'll have a corner on the left hand side as they look to try and break the deadlock, and they are, you would have to say, Tom, having the better of exchanges just at the moment. Yeah, they are. I mean, I think they look far more threatening than Rangers when they get into advanced areas of the pitch. Again, that was good play, working out to this left hand side, and Tavernier getting the block in, but a corner to defend now. Yeah, corner kick from the left hand side. Karainen is there, the Finnish international. Will be taken Right-footed though by Birmancevic, high in the air off the head of Suter on the edge of his own 6-yard box. Rangers trying to get it further clear. Sima helps it away as well as Sparta win possession back, and it's Preciado goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, who's just outside his penalty area, and the danger is removed for the moment by the Rangers defence. Sparta have it though on the halfway line now once more, and it's brought forward by Lashy. Back the way they have to go though as Rangers try to contain them. Rangers yet to trouble Peter Vindal Jensen in the Sparta goal, as it's played forward to Birmancevic on the left-hand side. He skips away from Suter, across comes Cantwell. It's a terrible challenge from Cantwell, and that will be the first yellow card of the game. Really poor challenge from Cantwell, who's so late, clatters into the winger, and the yellow card is shown by the German referee.
It almost amazes me when Cantwell makes a foul and kind of protests as if to say, I didn't touch him. The most blatant yellow card you'll ever see, but actually in the end probably not a bad foul to give away, given Birmancevic was pretty much clear of anyone at that point in time and bearing down on the Rangers goal, but 100% yellow card.
Yeah, he looks a real danger man for Sparta, doesn't he?
Really good.
On this left-hand side, the free kick's taken back the way, and Sparta have possession through Lashy, and then back with Panak on the halfway line now. It's Vitic coming forward from defence, plays it out to the right-hand side for Preciado, trying to get away from Sima, plays it forward for Karabec, looks for the return almost at the goal line. Sima battling away there, Preciado still has it, and then Ben Davies comes back to help as well, and it will be another Sparta corner, this time out on the right-hand side, as Birmancevic goes across to that side along with Karenin again. The two will decide between themselves who's best to play this corner kick into the danger area. Sparta Prague look for the opening goal, and just at the moment it's certainly being threatened by the home side.
Good battle that down that far side, taking it short.
Yeah, Karenin for Birmancevic. The return ball is almost intercepted by Cantwell, does enough to force it back the way, and Sparta have to go again all the way back to Jensen. They haven't really made the most of those corner kicks that they've had in the last couple of minutes, but they are looking the more threatening side in the opening 18 minutes here, but it is still goalless. Terrific clearance from Jensen, and that's played forward by Birmancevic looking for Karabec. Sima's back there again. It's another corner for Sparta Prague. They are winding up the pressure here at home. The opening goal looks like it could be on the cards.
Great ball over the top, it really was. The back three getting a wee bit exposed there. Karabec getting in, and actually it was Sima coming back and doing a really good defensive job to knock it out. He could only knock it out for a corner kick, the third in the space of must be only 2 minutes.
Be Karenin to take this one, the Finnish midfielder, cultured left foot from the right hand side. Birmancevic is again the short option, though he's beginning to move away from the corner kick taker, and then it comes from Karenin into the 6-yard box, well met by Davies at the near post, headed out for a throw-in over on the far side. The Sparta right, almost in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. 19 in, Sparta Prague 0, Rangers 0.
Defending the corners well, Rangers not the best quality of ball in, but Rangers getting first contact.
Birmancevic throw-in is flicked on by Panak. Rangers trying to get it clear. Again, it's Kuchta trying to keep it alive. It will come out on this near side now for a Sparta throw-in. Left-hand side, there's a Sparta player just down holding his ankle inside the penalty area.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not there's going to be a wee check here. I think it was Vitic. Just as the ball was kind of put into there, he was caught, but no.
Very, very brief check if there was one, yeah. But it will be another throw-in to be taken by Birmancevic, who's also got a long throw in his armoury, headed away by Golson. Comes to the edge of the box, and it's just wide. Lashed wide by Lashy from the edge of the penalty area. That could only have been a whisker past Jack Butland's right-hand post, but it does remain Sparta Prague 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, I mean, the header out to the edge of the box. He's there first to pick it up. Todd Cantwell tries to get out to block him. He hits a low shot, and you think it's just going to nestle in Jack Butland's right-hand post, but thankfully for Rangers, it was about a foot past it. But yeah, I mean, Rangers having to do a lot of defending.
Yeah, they are certainly under significant pressure. Having looked comfortable at the outset, Sparta have really begun to build, and there's a slack pass from Dessers looking for Cantwell, and that's just what Rangers don't want, inviting more pressure on themselves. And here's Kuchta at the edge of the penalty area, plays it out to the left-hand side now for Rines. Rines through the legs of Tavernier for Birmancevic, almost at the byline. Turns away from Golson. Davies gets his head to the cross, knocks it out of the penalty area. Preciado knocks it back in there. Suter gets his head to it. Preciado will go and try and gather once more. Up against Sima, battling for possession. Raskin goes across, and it's knocked out of play in the end by Preciado, and a bit of pressure lifted on the Rangers backline. 21 minutes in, Sparta Prague nil, Rangers nil.
Yeah, I mean, early on in the game, Rangers had quite a lot of possession. They were having lots of touches of the ball, but as the game's grown on, 21 minutes now, it's wave after wave of attack from Sparta Prague. Defended reasonably well by Rangers just now, but how long they can keep that up is the big question.
He's back with Butland from Golson, just at the edge of his 6-yard box. He's going to be closed down there by Kuchta. Plays it out to the right-hand side for Suter, who was fouled by Birmancevic, but again he's taking a chance at the back, more or less one-on-one.
Well, it was a difficult pass to him. He had really limited options. He was put under pressure almost instantly from Birmancevic. Had to cut inside, and definite foul.
Butland takes a free kick, looking to go long for Dessers. You just get a little nudge there, might be through, but out comes Jensen just to the edge of his penalty area to clutch that before the striker can latch onto it. But it's not a bad option for Rangers over the top. Dessers a couple of times has almost been in, but not quite.
It's an option that they've been using a lot, is missing out the midfield and trying to go over the top of the Sparta defence. Dessers, as I said earlier, isn't the quickest, so the ball needs to be inch perfect if he's going to get on the end of it.
Forward it goes down the right-hand side for Karabets into the Rangers penalty from that right-hand side. Tries to cut it back. Suter manages to get it half clear. Then Golson and Davies combine to knock it clear. But Sparta Prague, every time they come forward, they look very, very threatening. And I must admit, from a Rangers point of view, must be nervy watching for the fans off to our left as their side continue to come under the cosh. Lundstrom forces Rines to go back the way though in the midfield, but Lundstrom, we've barely mentioned him, and Lammers, they haven't been able to get
the ball. They're missing the midfield out with a lot of the when they do have the ball, the defence are going back to front, and Lammers hardly touch the ball. You're right, Lundstrom and Raskin struggling to get on it. Cantwell, another.
Sparta have it at the back. It's Sorensen touches it back to the goalkeeper just beyond the midway point in the first half, and it is still goalless, but Sparta certainly having the better of proceedings as Suter turns it back to Butland, who comes just outside his box, and then he's knocked it out of play because Preciado's still struggling, and it looks like Sparta might be forced into an early change after that early clash he had with Raskin. And Preciado,
yeah, it looks like he's walking off the pitch.
Toiling, yeah, he's going off, and Sparta, we don't have anyone ready, and Brian Priska's coming to the edge of his technical area to, he's almost urging Preciado to come back on the field, but
yeah, he's chucked it. He's
finished, but there's not a sub ready to.
He should have stayed down on the pitch until they got themselves organised. Playing with 10 now.
Yeah, play has resumed as Suter picks up on the halfway line, knocks it infield to Lundstrom. Can Rangers take advantage of this momentary man advantage that they have over Sparta Prague? It's Lundstrom in the middle of the park. Sparta with everyone behind the ball right now. Raskin out to the left-hand side for Sima. Sima up against Karabets, left-hand side for Rangers, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Cantwell's there as well. He plays it back to Raskin. Raskin just takes his eye off the ball, but manages to keep a hold of it eventually. Back to Lundstrom, and then out to this right-hand side for Suter. Further to the right is Tavernier. He skips inside. Still with possession, but under pressure from Birmancevic. Goes back to Suter. Suter forward to Tavernier again. Lammers pokes it to Suter. It's a good ball. Suter up to the edge of the penalty area, just showed too much of that to the defender, and he's going into the Sparta player and committed the free kick, where he's looking for the decision to go his way, and it looks like the referee's producing another card. It's a yellow card for John Suter.
It was good play from Suter driving into the box. He just overran it with his final touch. Both players stretching for it. I think Suter got there first. There's a wee replay. Yeah, maybe just the follow through catches a bit of the Sparta centre half. But better from Rangers, albeit with the numerical advantage. Substitute coming on now, Al.
Yeah, it's Thomas Wiesner who started against Betis in that right wing back position, so he will just slip into that role that's just been vacated by Angelo Preciado, one of the Sparta youth products. Thomas Wiesner, now 26, been at the club an awful long time. He was there when they played against Celtic a few years back in the Europa League. It will be a free kick then to Sparta inside their own penalty area after that foul that earned John Suter the yellow card. And it's back now with Jensen. Just from the edge of his box, he clips it forward. Kukuta can't get anything of it. It's Suter now who mops up, plays it out to the left-hand side for Sima. Sima forward to Lammers. Lammers touches it back to Cantwell. Bit better from Lammers in the last couple of minutes. Cantwell tries to feed Sima, but it was well read by Wiesner. It wasn't a great pass, actually, by Cantwell. He should have done a lot better to release Sima. But Rangers have it back through Raskan. Sima now. Cantwell just tries to drag it away from Lashy, but he loses out, and Sparta pick up, and now it's Kukuta tries the first time ball forward for Birmancevic. He was cut out by Suter, and Rangers come forward through Lundstrom. Over the halfway line he comes. Now Tavernier takes over. Back the way though to Conor Golson. 27 minutes in. Sparta Prague 0, Rangers 0 as Davies clips it up towards Sima. Sima glances it on with the head, but there's no Rangers player there to latch onto that. It's all the way through to Jensen. He just nudges it out to Philippe Panac, who's captain.
Rangers have got to be better in possession, Alistair, when they do have the ball and they are in slightly more advanced areas, middle to front. Everything seems a wee bit rushed. Everything's trying to go over the top. Just take your time, keep the ball. Wait for an opening, be more patient. Just feel as though they're rushing it and they're giving away too often when they get into good areas, or not even good areas, but better areas.
Sparta have it, right-hand side. It's Karabets losing out to Golson, and now Raskan goes back to Davies. Davies on the left-hand side of the defence, plays it to Butland, who left-footed, goes long, first time up towards Cantwell. He's beaten in the jump though by Vitic. Rangers have it once more. Lammers plays it to the left-hand side for Raskan, who will drive Rangers forward. Out to the left for Sima. It's another poor ball, and Sima can't keep it in. That's a couple of times Rangers have been in good positions, and the final ball letting them down.
It's just another example, Alistair, of exactly what I was saying. When they do have the ball, it's just rushed or carelessness that's costing them. Again, it was Sima, it was Cantwell in the previous one. Had a really good option to roll it in behind for Sima, hits the first player, and on that occasion, under no pressure, Raskin rolls the ball out the pitch when really it was just a 15-yard pass to feet.
Sparta won their first league title in 9 years last season, and they currently sit atop the Czech League, 2 points clear of city rivals Slavia. The decision has just gone against them, hence the roar of disapproval from the home crowd. Free kick to Rangers over on the left-hand side, just inside Sparta territory. We're approaching the half-hour mark. There's still no goals. Rangers have been on the back foot for the most part. Just in the last few minutes, there's been hints that they could be creeping back into it, but they still haven't, I don't think, managed a shot on Peter Vindal Jensen's goal, and that'll be something that Philippe Clement will try to remedy. Here's Suter on the halfway line, right-hand side, clips it forward, looking for the run of Tavernier, headed down by Rinesh, and then helped on in the middle of the park by Lashy. Rinesh forward once more, and then Lundstrom straight out of play. Under little pressure, and his manager not happy with that.
No wonder.
Birmancevic prepares to take the throw in quickly.
So many slack passes from Rangers, far too many.
Rinesh plays it into Lashy, and then back over the halfway line into his own half for Panac. Panac just gets it to the right-hand side for Vitic, who comes forward. Cantwell tries to chase him. He's on a yellow, so he just has to be careful what kind of challenge he makes, if any, here. Poked forward to that right-hand side. Wiesner won't catch that, really. No, it's gone behind before he gets the cross in. It will be a Rangers goal kick. That is the half-hour come and gone. It's Sparta Prague 0, Rangers 0.
0-0. If Rangers get out of here tonight with 0-0, it's a fantastic result, and out with that moment of brilliance for Birmancevic, and the follow-up shot. Not really had too many really good openings. They've certainly been in good areas, and Rangers have looked stretched at times, but they've not made the most of them. For Rangers, you can't really see where a goal would come from for them, but at this moment in time, despite not being as good in possession.
Yeah, Raskin just giving it away, but 25 yards from goal. It's Lashy going for goal. Butland scoops it away. Again, well out of the penalty area from Butland, but Nikola Raskin getting caught in an awful area with his back to goal, tried to play out of danger, and he was robbed of possession. And Lashy again trying his luck from distance, and Butland just, as I say, scooped it away with the right hand and got good distance on the clearance.
That's exactly what it was a scoop. I memean, Raskin, you can't take those chances when you're on the edge of your own box, and Lashy dispossessing him, hits a shot that dips right in front of Butland. He just gets his arm underneath it and lifts it up into the air and away.
Here comes Sparta once more. Rinesh coming forward, goes and slides in on the edge of his own penalty area and knocks it out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Sparta looking for the opening goal still. Birmancevic closed down by Lammers, knocked out of play. Another Sparta throw-in will be taken by the Finnish midfielder Karinen. In fact, he leaves it for Birmancevic, who might try a long one here. He's about 25 yards away from the corner flag on the left-hand side, and he waves his central defenders into the penalty area to try and get on the end of this, as Birmancevic just lines this one up, left-hand side, looking to try and pick out one of his teammates inside that penalty area. In it comes, near post, header, falls to the edge of the box for Karinen. Back to Birmancevic, left-hand side, up against Cantwell and Tavernier. Tavernier gets something of a challenge and breaks to Karabec, left-hand side, across the 6-yard box. Birmancevic into the side netting only a couple of yards wide of Butland's right-hand post, as Birmancevic again looks dangerous inside Rangers territory, but again can't find a goal, and it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Another let-off for Rangers. Karabec's doing well, driving into the box, flashes it across the face. John Suter gets the block, but it falls to Birmancevic on the angle, only probably 6 yards out. Catches the side net, and I think the fans in the opposite stand thought it was in the net. Another let-off for Rangers.
Yeah, it wasn't too far away, that's for sure. The net rippled, but fortunately for Rangers, it was the outside of the net, as Sima fails to get on the end of the clearance from Butland, and he's not had a lot of joy.
No, it's not a tactic that's worked really, is the switch of play out to Sima this evening. Quality of ball hasn't been there.
That's slack from a Sparta point of view there, and it's drifted out for a throw-in. 2 Rangers over on the far side, just about 10 yards inside the Sparta half. The throw-in taken by Raskin, back to Davies, and now it's Goldson midway inside his own half, looking for options. He plays it square to Suter, who's going to be closed down quickly by Birmancevic, but he gets the pass off to Tavernier. He's forced back the way, back into his own half. Then Rinesh gets the foot in, and Birmancevic plays it to Kuchta. Forward it comes to Karabec's left-hand side. Birmancevic picks up on the back heel, blocked by Suter. That was goal bound, and Suter with an important block. But again, Rangers getting caught in dreadful areas, Tom.
Yeah, it was Tavernier. The ball comes into him at his feet. He's under pressure. He's forced to go back towards his own goal. Eventually gets caught on the ball. Brilliant interplay again, though, from Karabec and Birmancevic. How many times are going to be able to get blocks in? One of these shots is going to go in, you feel.
Birmancevic's long throw from the left-hand side once more. Goldson comes to meet it. They'll come out. That's a good hit. Butland saves on the rebound. Is that a penalty? The referee has a look. Well, he had a long look, but he hasn't given anything on the rebound. It looked like Vitek might have been caught as he looked to net the rebound. And I think it was John Lindstrom who made the challenge. The referee pointed for a goal kick, but VAR will certainly have a look at that one.
It certainly looked in real time that it was a penalty kick, and it's a vicious strike. Butland can only parry it out. I don't know.
Lindstrom doing up there.
First, let me see the replay. Oh, it's difficult to see. Yeah, I think Lindstrom does just get there first. It's an incredible challenge. It really is. To look like a tap in, it was going to be. Yeah, it's good defending.
He gets his body, he gets his leg in.
That was the replay we needed. That was the replay we needed. Excellent defending.
Lindstrom, who was at fault in Limassol for the second Aris goal, somewhat redeems himself with a goal-saving challenge to deny the centre-back Martin Vitek, who scored the third against Aris. Was almost on the score sheet there on the rebound after Rinesh with a terrific, powerful hit from the edge of the box. It was once again saved by Butland, but it was Lundstrom who had to be on hand to keep out the rebound. 35 minutes in, still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, Butland's been parrying, every shot that's come at him this evening. I don't know whether he doesn't like the ball or the surface or what it is, but on that occasion he really should have done better. The shot was from about 22, 23 yards out. He must have seen it all the way, but parries it into a horrendous area, and you think he's just going to tap it in. It's an incredible block from John Lundstrom to get there first, saving his team going 1-0 down. Living dangerously, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be at all surprised if Sparta at some point opened the scoring. Certainly they've had the opportunities to do so as Butland again goes long. Looked like Dessers maybe got a little shove there, but that's certainly his claim to the referee, but the referee's having none of it. 9 minutes until the interval, still goalless in Prague in the Epet Arena. Here's Kuchta, the centre forward, going back the way to Sorensen at the edge of his own penalty area. And now it's Jensen on the edge of his 6-yard box. Back to Sorensen, left-hand side of the box for Sparta. Again, it goes back to the goalkeeper, all in pink this evening. Plays the short ball out to Karinen for his captain Panak, and they played out from the back nicely. And they could come forward now, crossing the halfway line. It's Lashy out to Karabec, angle of the box, right-hand side, up against Davies. Cuts it on the left foot, looking to get the shot away again. It's Suter, comes back to Karabec, blocked that time by Davies. Now it's Rinesh, edge of the box. He plays it out to Birmancevic inside the penalty area, left-hand side. That's blocked by Tavernier, claims for handball. Rinesh lashes it across goal, and Sima's in the way. And he heads it clear. Claims for handball in there against Tavernier, but it didn't look like it to me.
No, it didn't, but I mean, Rangers just block after block after block. Sparta Prague putting them under so much pressure. The initial breakaway was absolutely superb football, built right from their goalkeeper. Split Rangers wide open. And I think it was Karabec who cuts in his left foot, gets the shot blocked, the return shot blocked, the rebound blocked again. Was it a handball off Cantwell? No, I mean, it's just relentless pressure.
Throwing in on the far side to Sparta Prague. Birmancevic is trotted across there, and he's going to launch another one of these long ones. He's a pretty slight figure, but he's got a hell of a throw on him. Here he is from the right-hand side into the penalty area, flicked on by Panak. Souters gets the second ball. Rinesh on that occasion can't force it clear. There's a player down, is it Panak, I think, who's been injured. The offside flag is up in any case against a Sparta player, but Panak looks like he might require some treatment here. The referees stopped the game for the offside, and he's just having a word with the Sparta captain to see if he does need treatment.
Cyril Dessers is asking the question why the game was stopped, because Rangers had broken away with possession of the ball. It wasn't a head knock, so we see a reason for the referee to stop the game. A few more players asking that question.
I think maybe the referee did think it was a head knock.
Do you think that's why he stopped it?
I suspect so.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't, no. And Panak is fine, back on his feet, back on the halfway line to defend this free kick that's about to be taken by Jack Butland. We've got 6.5 minutes left in the opening period, plus injury time. It's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0, but not quite sure how Sparta have had some real good opportunities. Jack Butland's been on top form again, and the saving clearance from John Lundstrom a few moments ago to deny Martin Vitic the opener was quite superb. Here comes Sparta again though, down the left-hand side. Birmancevic, who's probably been their star man in this opening period. Tavernier gets the ball back though, and then gets it back to Butland. Then there's Dessers getting spun away from Panak, but across comes Vitic to cover for his captain, and picks up possession for Sparta. And then Sorensen, the other member of that back three, plays it back to his goalkeeper, who in turn plays it to Sorensen once more. Straight out of play from him as he's closed down by Lammers. Throw into Rangers right-hand side, taken by Tavernier into Cantwell. Lammers gets it back to Cantwell on the right-hand side, almost at the goal line, has to come back the way, finds Tavernier just at the edge of the box, right-hand side, into the feet of Dessers. He can't keep it. He really has. Sparta clear the lines. Lundstrom picks up about midway inside the Sparta half, has to go back to the halfway line to Goldson though.
It's a great move from Rangers down the right-hand side. Tavernier pops off looking for the 1-2. If he gets it back, he's at the edge of the box with a shooting opportunity, and Dessers can't find him with a 2-yard pass. His link-up play has to be better at this level.
Here's Cantwell, centre circle, coming forwards, left of centre, just caught there by Lashy. Then he goes to ground under a continuing challenge of Lashy. No free kick given as Rangers continue in possession anyway, as Lundstrom gets it out to Davies, left-hand side, just inside the Sparta half. Cantwell comes in, takes possession once more. The Sparta manager at the edge of his technical area, looking for more from his side. Here's up to Dessers inside the penalty area. Panak gets the challenge in, knocks it away behind for a Rangers corner. I think that's their first of the game with under 5 minutes of the opening 45 left to play.
Campbell just clipped it into a decent area. Dessers gets his body in, caused a wee bit of panic. Eventually it was lashed away by Panak. Didn't mean that. But yes, a corner to Rangers.
Over to the far side was Ben Davies going across to take the corner kick, left-footed by the looks of it. As Rangers throw a number of bodies forward in and around that penalty area, looking for a breakthrough. It wouldn't entirely be deserved, but they would certainly take it as half-time is almost upon us. A few minutes away as Davies steps up, left-footed from the left-hand side, comes out to Lundstrom on the volley, well wide though, side-footed volley. It was a difficult technique certainly, but he was never in any danger of troubling the Danish goalkeeper, and it remains Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, maybe one from the training ground, the long corner, almost a diagonal pass out to the edge of the box on the opposite side, and Lundstrom was there. I feel as though he could have put his foot through it. Goes with his side foot, he was under a bit of pressure. Rangers
are man for man at the back at the moment, 3-on-3 as the ball is launched forward looking for Kukta. Goldson wins the header, be picked up in the middle of the park though by Lashy. Lundstrom comes back with him, Tavernier tries to put the challenge in. It was Lashy who knocks it out of play though, and the throw-in goes Rangers' way, midway inside their own half. Do you feel like the formation that Rangers have played this first half is serving them well, Tomo?
I think they probably suit the four better. I mean, at times there's been big gaps in the wide areas, and if at times you're right to point out Sparta are just leaving virtually three up there, it becomes very difficult for Rangers. They're not picking up second balls either when it drops into the midfield.
Davies with the header, it's gone back towards his own goal though. Suter has to chase back and he just knocks it out of play for a throw-in down near the corner flag as Sparta look to ramp up the pressure once again in the closing few moments of the first period. 0-0 it stands, 42.5 on the clock as the referee is pointing to Bermanchevich that his throw has to be right next to the corner flag. I'm not sure what difference it really makes.
It was close to the corner flag.
I thought Suter could probably have managed to hook it further upfield before knocking it out of play. As the throw-in comes into the box, it's Suter who gathers it and knocks it out of play. This time he gets it further up the park, but it will be another Sparta throw-in as Lashy invites Bermanchevich to take it once more. Last couple of minutes of this first period plus stoppage time. Rangers have managed to keep Sparta out until now, but it's been hard work at times. Bermanchevich launches it long once more. Tavernier meets it at the near post. Again, Dessers can't hold on to it, but Tavernier gets there once more and just knocks it over the halfway line. No Rangers players up there as Jensen, the goalkeeper, comes midway inside his own half before launching it long, looking for Bermanchevich. Got away from Tavernier, who thought he was shoved, cuts it back. This is a big chance over the top from Kukta, who should have done better. 15 yards out. The offside flag has gone up on the far side, much to Rangers' relief, albeit the shot wasn't on target in the end. I thought there might have been a shove there on Tavernier, but it is the offside flag that goes up in the end. 0-0.
Yeah, I think he was in an offside position. Luckily for James Tavernier, I don't think there was enough in that in terms of a shove. He just gets spun, mistimed his jump. And thankfully for Rangers, far side linesman had the flag up. To get in half-time with the score as it is, then, despite not having played well, or certainly not as well as they can play, they'll be delighted to have a clean sheet at this point.
Panak with a backwards header which forces Vitek into a rather hurried clearance out to the far side. The Rangers left, midway inside the Sparta half. Sima takes the throw in, back the way to Davies, who goes back to the halfway line to Goldson, the Sparta manager, urging his team out to press them high. Suter again taking a chance at the back, plays it to Goldson. Goldson to the left-hand side for Davies, just inside his own half, forward looking for the runner Sima. Sima manages to get it down to Dessers. Dessers turns it back to the left-hand side for Raskan. Lundstrom's calling for it, goes his way. Lundstrom about 40 yards from goal, plays it to the right-hand side for Suter. Suter will come forward to Lammers. Lammers with a terrible pass, but somehow it finds its way to Cantwell on the edge of the box. Still has it, under pressure at the edge of the penalty area. Out to Tavernier. Tavernier crossing opportunities, not a good cross, easily cut out, and it's out for a throw into Rangers.
It's a waste, that, Alistair. It's one of the first times that Tavernier's found himself in an advanced area in a good position with time to.
And just Raskan 6 yards out, can he get turned? Looking for options, forced out to the right hand side, manages to keep it in play as 2 minutes of stoppage time begin. Lammers out to Tavernier, right hand side. Tavernier again, looking to get away from Rines on the right hand side. Rines just seeing it out of play, and it will be a goal kick in the end. The left wing back just getting his body in between Tavernier and the ball, seeing it out of play. 45 have been played, we're into stoppage time. It's Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Really good defending that, but it's just in the occasion before it, 30 seconds before, for Tavernier, he's got a great opportunity to put a ball into the box. Rangers have really struggled in those final third areas to have any real quality. There's 4 in the box waiting on it, and he hits the first man.
Goalkeeper about to take the goal kick, as Rangers very keen to get in with the scoreline the way it is. Dessers giving chase to the forward ball. Panat goes down under pressure, and Dessers has hurt himself in making that challenge, and he's stayed on the deck holding his left knee there. And the free kick though will go the opposite way. It'll go to Sparta Prague.
The defender knew that Dessers was coming behind him, just kind of checks his run almost. Dessers thumps into the back of him. Don't know how he's managed to hurt his knees, maybe just jarred it as he's trying to get grip, but that's a foul. Clever play from the defender.
The Sparta defenders haven't had all that much to do, and the goalkeeper said next to nothing to do. Not so for the Rangers backline and their goalkeeper, who have been hard worked in this opening 45, but they look like they've got through it unscathed. But work for Philippe Clement to do at half time, you imagine, because another 45 like this would be tough to keep goalless. You fancy Sparta have looked threatening and dangerous as they come forward in the left hand side in the final few seconds of the opening period. It's come off Sparta player out of play as the German referee Sascha Stegemann brings the first half to a close. A goalless first half in the end, but Sparta have had all the opportunities, beginning in the 5th minute as Birmancevic had a shot saved from the left hand side of the penalty area, and then Lashy on the rebound, also denied by Jack Butland, who had a busy first period. He was in action again as it unfolded, albeit Lashy couldn't force him into a save midway through the half, volleying just inches wide of Butland's right hand post. And then 10 minutes before the break, Rines rattled in a shot from the edge of the box. That was pushed away by Butland again, fell for Vitek, 6 yards out or thereabouts, and it was a despairing challenge from John Lundstrom. It might well have conceded a penalty, but on further inspection of the replays, it was well timed by Lundstrom, and really crucial as he managed to get the ball away out of play. And as such, it finishes at half time. Sparta Prague 0, Rangers 0.
Sparta Prague versus Rangers.
Goal! Game on!
This is Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
So goalless in Prague, it is also 0-0 in Limassol. Aris against Real Betis, so this incredibly tight group remains as tight as ever. All 4 teams will therefore move on to 4 points, should these be the full-time scorelines. We'll chat with Willie Miller shortly to look ahead to the Conference League game here at Pittodrie. We'll also look back on last night's fine performance by Celtic against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Let's just reflect on the opening 45 minutes. Derek Ferguson and Tom English are in the Glasgow studio. That is a hell of a scoreline, Derek, isn't it, for Rangers right now?
Well, it's quite incredible that they haven't conceded. It's been one-way traffic. They've bossed the game. We asked questions before the game, in terms of Lammers, Dessers, guys that have been brought to the club to play in the big stage in Europe to produce. The game just passed them by, to be honest with you, Richard. I don't think the shape's worked as well. And I think he's got to change the shape. He's got to maybe look to take Lammers off. The game again has passed them by. But it's not that we're picking on him. You just look at him. He's had no effect whatsoever, but they just look quicker, they look sharper. There's been so many unforced errors from Rangers, in the possession of the ball's been extremely poor, and just passing from A to B, balls going out the park. It's the manager said that he ain't a magician. I think now there'll be maybe a realisation kicking in that he's got a hell of a job in front of him.
Yeah, he said in the clip we used before the game, Tom, we need to be in a better level. He was very, very positive about Sparta. Well, B, you can see why he was, and A, he hasn't had that better level in terms of other than their defending.
Yeah, I mean, I think Clement is getting a full picture now of the size of the job he has in his hands at Rangers. Incredible amount of misplaced passes under no pressure, hopeful punts downfield, simple passes going astray, his players repeatedly getting shoved off the ball, losing that physicality, that battle. And it's just, I mean, it's a miracle that they're 0-0. Bermancevic and Lashy and Rinas and Vitek.
Multiple times as well.
Yeah, multiple times, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, you know, there's too many Rangers players that are completely anonymous. And the ones that are trying to make things happen, they are being very ordinary. That's probably being kind, just giving the ball away. They're playing against a very slick side, good passing side, good movement, all the rest of it. But Rangers are making them look a terrific side with their inaccuracy. The Rangers' inaccuracy has been really lamentable.
Derek, I mean, clearly he's got to be thinking about changes, I suppose, to try to alter the course of the game. Is it the sort of match where he should be looking at Ryan Jack to perhaps stem the flow a bit in midfield and perhaps ease the pressure on the defence?
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Sima, Richard. You know, he's having to track back an awful lot of times, you know, and that just takes away from his attacking prowess. I think a back four would suit him. I would take Lammers off, as I says, the game has passed him by. I would actually bring Scott Wright on. I says it before the game. I just think they need an out ball, but the out ball's got to be hit with a little bit of quality. Tom just says it. At times it's a lump up the park, you know, to Dezers, you know, and they're hoping for a second ball, or it's a switch of play to Sima, which they've took care of. They have known that was going to be one of the ploys from Rangers, you know, to get Sima on the ball, but they've been switched on to that and just went and dominated. But I think a change of shape, change of personnel, but certainly Lammers, I would actually think about taking Lammers and Dessers off, to be honest with you. Danilo on the bench, coming back from obviously that fractured cheekbone, but it needs to do something, Richard, because at the moment, quite clearly, it's not working. Rangers have been riding their luck big time. It's a miracle that they're not 2 or 3 behind. This game should be done and dusted, and that's the only positive that you can take out of the game, that they've kept a clean sheet.
We talked beforehand, Tom, about the experience, about the winning records of Philippe Clement, and this is the kind of scenario very early on where we get a real taste as to what he's all about, I suppose, if he can turn this one round.
God, if he turns this one round, then he's going to be a very special manager. It's very, very hard to see it. I'm not sure he's got the personnel on the bench to do it, although I'd like Derek, I think he does need to go to the bench. In the hope that one of them, like, you couldn't have less of an impact than Lammers. And again, I know we're picking on Lammers, but you could pick on a number. Raskin has been very wasteful on the ball. A number of them have been very wasteful on the ball. But Lammers comes with the big price tag. He's 17 games. This is his 18th game for Rangers now. I'm still waiting for a suggestion of a player here. And I mean, how long are we going to wait for Lammers to show if he's got anything? It's just an interminable wait.
Rangers have been poor. Sparta have been excellent, but they've been wasteful, I guess, in that sense. So they haven't made the breakthrough. Somehow, in Prague, it's goalless. It's also goalless in the other game. Elsewhere, 1 or 2 of the scorelines. Olympiacos 2-0 up against West Ham United. So it could be a rare European defeat for West Ham. Marseille 1-0 up against Athens, and Atalanta 2-1 up away to Sturm Graz. In the Conference League, Aston Villa 2-0 up in the Netherlands against AZ Alkmaar, and 4-0 for Ghent against Breidablik. All the scores, of course, available at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Let's take a few moments to reflect on what was a sensational 90 minutes at Celtic Park in the Champions League last night.
This is Celtic in the Champions League.
There's O'Reilly, good build up by Celtic, wide right of the Atletico box. It's with Kyogo, rolls it to the edge of the area for O'Reilly, stabs it through, Kyogo's in, he scores! What the second quarter we go. Celtic 1-0 up. Here's DePaul, though. It's a lovely ball. There's a man down. Atletico with a penalty. The German referee points straight to the spot. Once again, the architect of the problem for Celtic was Rodrigo DePaul. Celtic fans doing their best to put off Griezmann. Big moment coming up here in the 25th minute. Griezmann left-footed. He comes off the post, but he scores on the rebound. Lovely ball in behind, left-hand side of the box. Maida across, missed by Witsel, breaks to Palma, winds up the shot and scores! Well, that's about blowing the roof off here at Celtic Park. Luis Palma with a special moment for Celtic. Right-hand side of the box, Johnston across, breaks back to O'Reilly. Oblak saves. The shot down into the ground, zipped back up, and Oblak threw himself to his left. And out it goes for a Celtic throw-in, won by Johnston. Griezmann, left-footed, dink to the right-hand side of the box. The header's won, it's in. Witsel heads home, but the flag goes up over on the north stand side, and that spares Celtic for now at least. O'Reilly in swinging corner into the penalty area. Scales attacks it, and it's over the bar. Here's Llorente, gets the cross ball in, and Morata heads home. Diving header inside the 6-yard box, and Morata does what he did against the Scottish national team a fortnight ago in Andalusia, repeating the trick with a header from the cross of Llorente, and it's all square again here in Group E. Celtic 2, Atletico 2, and it's Alvaro Morata up to the edge of the box, plays it back to DePaul, slides it through, cut out. Bernardo looking to pick it up. It's a challenge from Rodrigo DePaul. The referee's going to his pocket, and DePaul is going to be sent off. Second yellow. The World Cup winners off. Atletico have the ball and might get the last chance. In fact, there is not going to be a last chance. It's a point apiece here in Group E, and it's evaded them again here, despite all the positives. At least they're off the mark. They remain rooted to the foot of Champions League Group E after 3 winless match days. Finished here, Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 2.
It was certainly a night of high drama at Celtic Park, and well, for 45 minutes or so, Celtic had Atletico Madrid rattled. They clearly sorted things out at half-time. They dominated the second half and were well worthy of their point in the end. But for 45 minutes, Tom, it was almost as if it used to be for Celtic in the Champions League. I mean, the past decade, their record in the Champions League has been pretty atrocious, but that was a first 45 minutes. A little reminder, wasn't it, of those nights against Barcelona and AC Milan and Manchester United?
Yeah, it was, yeah. It was a terrific performance, effervescent, classy, 2 brilliant goals, atmosphere unreal by the looks of it at Celtic Park, and a crowd and a team kind of coalescing and very powerful thing. And even Atletico Madrid, as good as they were, found it hard to stay with Celtic. The second half, Atletico Madrid came back into it. Celtic, I think they ran out of steam a bit, but they got a draw, and I think it's a very credible draw. There are 3 close games in this group now, so I think they are improving. But that last night, full-time whistle, you feel as if you've watched a brilliant game and an excellent Celtic performance. But from a Celtic perspective, there's still that kind of heavy sigh that they didn't get the 3 points, because that would have been the cherry on top. But it was a huge amount of positives in the game for Celtic.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is, and the likelihood is, they will finish bottom of the group again. That's just the pure hard facts. I mean, they're away to Atletico Madrid in the second part of the double header, of course, and it's a tough group. It's an absolutely tough group, and they've not been helped by the fact that Feyenoord have got off to an absolute flyer.
Yeah, and what they have to do now, I mean, wherever they finish, right, what they have to do is the next 3 games, they have to emerge with credit, whatever that looks like. Whether it's 3 draws or, a couple of points, a win, a draw, a narrow defeat. They have to come out. They can't have a blowout now. They have to build on this, so to finish the group with their heads held high, that's the target, and if that's good enough to get third, great. If it isn't, well, you know, they'll learn from it. But they can't. They have to have 3 close games coming up now, because if they can't build on this, then last night was irrelevant.
Yeah. Okay, Tom, thank you for that. It was indeed incredible. Great listen, great entertainment at Celtic Park yesterday. Let's hope plenty of that to come this evening here at Pittodrie. Liam McLeod's our commentator, of course, and he can actually bring us the team news. It's to hand.
Yes, we'll get into Pauk a little bit later, shall we? For Aberdeen, though, it's 2 changes from the game against Helsinki here in their Matchday 2 fixture, which finished 1-1. Connor Barron comes in for Leighton Clarkson, and Dante Polvara, who scored that goal in Germany against Eintracht Frankfurt, replaces. They benched Duke, who's not exactly been in great form this season, so Kelarus in goal. It will be Gartenman, Rubidzic and Jensen, Devlin and McKenzie, with Barron, Shinnie, Polvara and McGrath supporting Bojan Mijovski up front for Aberdeen. And you do feel, Richard, that this simply is a must-win for Aberdeen if they've got any chances and hopes of playing European football in the spring.
Much more to come from Liam just a little bit later. We were about to chat to Willie anyway, and we'll do so now about that selection. It's a kind of pragmatic choice, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think a wise choice, Richard. You know, Duke hasn't really been firing on all cylinders. He could still play a big part in this game. I would imagine that he would play a big part in the game, maybe coming off the bench. I think he is on the bench. Yes, he is. So I think he can still play that part, and you know, that might be a secret weapon for Barry Robson. I think, you know, being a little bit more in the defensive side, and I think that suits Aberdeen. You know, I think when they played Eintracht Frankfurt, it was much more of a defensive type of performance with the threat going forward on the break. And even although you're at home here tonight, you're playing against probably the favourites to top the group. They are at the top of the group just now. So I think Barry Robson's taking an approach that is a wise approach that will suit Aberdeen as well. I think Aberdeen are better when the opposition are coming at them, and they don't have to take the game to the opposition. I think that could be a factor tonight. Polvara has done well in the games so far this season. You know, so I think it's a very positive move from the manager.
Right, more to come from Willie as well. We'll continue the build-up to Aberdeen just a little bit later on. It is, of course, half-time in Prague. The players are back out, they're on the pitch, so getting ready to get the second half up and running. Can Rangers stem the flow? The big positive is that they are at least goalless at the interval against a Sparta Prague team which has all but dominated the first 45 minutes. Commentary from Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Sparta Prague just about to get us back underway. No changes for either side at the interval. Derek's not getting his substitutions that he wanted for Rangers just yet. Philippe Clement sticking with the side that started the game, which is Jack Butland in goal. It's a back three, really, of Conor Golson, John Souttar and Ben Davies, with James Tavernier and Abdallah Sima working the flanks. Raskin and Lundstrom in midfield, with Cantwell and Dessers in there as well. Here is Dessers inside the penalty area, trying to get it to Cantwell, as Sparta managed to hack it away, picked up by Sima. Rangers need more in the second half. Here's Lundstrom trying to provide something. It's 35 yards out, but he can't find room for the shot, so he goes back the way to Souttar, and now Lammers infield to Tavernier. Tavernier back to Souttar once more, but 15 yards inside Sparta's half, but it's a poor ball forward and easily picked off by Grinesh, who drives Sparta forward. He's looked really good, the left wing back, and he's still going up towards the edge of the penalty. Eventually he's challenged well by Ben Davies, who knocks it out of play. But Grinesh has been impressive on that left hand side, Tom.
He has, Alistair, but I think the combination of Tavernier and Lammers have got to do more to stop him there. He's just driven 50 yards with the ball untouched, and took his team right up the pitch. Now of a throw-in, as we've seen in the first half. The long throw-ins caused one or two problems.
Yeah, Rangers haven't had anyone who's been able to do anything similar to what Grinesh just did, which was, as Tomo said, take them from one end of the park to the other, and now they have this throw-in for Birmancevic on the right-hand side, about 15 yards from the corner flag, to launch into the penalty area. Here it comes. Sima rises at the near post and gets his head to it. Then Golson goes up and gets it well clear. Desser's trying to flick on for Raskan, who just shoves Lashy to the ground, and it's a free kick to Sparta Prague midway inside the Rangers half, and that's just, I'm not sure what it was from Raskan, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, he's just too keen to try and win the ball. Again,
free kick goes Sparta's way, just right of centre, too far out for a shot at goal certainly, but they'll be able to throw it into the penalty area and try and give their taller players something to attack. Philippe Panac, the captain, is one of those players lurking on the edge of the penalty area as Karinin and Birmancevic stand over it. It's headed away from the edge of the penalty area. Karinin did float it in towards the edge of the 18-yard area. Sparta fire it back into the box. Davies gets his head to it. It'll come to Karabec on the right angle of the box, up against Sima now, trying to keep him at bay, and he does well. Sima just knocks the ball out of play in the end. Sima has been asked to do a more defensive role than he's accustomed to, but he's stuck to his task, but he hasn't had much joy going forward, which is where Rangers would ideally like to see him operating.
He's been Rangers' most dangerous player this season, so it's kind of, you're almost sacrificing that quality that he's brought in forward areas. He has done okay defensively.
Sorry, Tom, Birmancevic taking that throw in short into the feet of Karabec, then trying to get away from Raskan. Across comes Sima, makes the challenge once more, and he wins the ball, but he knocks it behind for a corner, and it'll be another corner kick for Sparta Prague on this right-hand side, with 48.5 on the clock, still goalless. But again, Sparta starting where they left off in the first period, on the front foot, and it will be Birmancevic to take the corner from the right-hand side as Sparta look for the opener. Into the box it comes. Again, it's well won by Suter ahead of Panac. Lashy turns it back into the edge of the 6-yard box. Golson reckoned he was being fouled, but it comes all the way through to Birmancevic, right-hand side of the box, trying to get the ball back into the danger area. Golson stands up strong and then manages to poke it out of play. It will be a throw-in rather than a corner, as Rangers are again having to withstand some heavy pressure at the start of this second period. 0-0 it stands, 4 minutes gone in the second half. Birmancevic lines another long throw up, doesn't get as much distance on that one. Sima gets it clear. Cantwell can't reach it though, and it'll come back to Karabec, right hand side for Sparta, looking to get away from Sima. It's a good challenge, then Cantwell picks up. Sima and Cantwell combine well down the left hand side as Rangers try and come forward on the counter. Cantwell halfway line through the legs there of Vitek, and then plays it out to the right hand side for Tavernier. It's good play from Cantwell at last, getting Rangers up the park. Flicks it on for Dessers. Dessers could be in here. Out comes Jensen. He's done well, the goalkeeper. Dessers just tried to nudge it past him, and Jensen was able to gather and put an end to that Rangers counter-attacks, as promising as they've looked in the game so far, Tomo.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was fortuitous the way that it broke through to Dessers after good work by Cantwell and Tavernier. But yeah, he just kind of hesitated. I think he catches the goalkeeper out the corner of his eye and allows the goalkeeper the chance to clear it.
Rangers have it once more. Cantwell, a slightly loose pass aimed at Lundstrom, but it goes through to Golson instead. Now Davies out to the left-hand side for Sima, coming back the way and back into the centre of the park to Conor Golson. Right-hand side is Suter. Rangers sticking with that three-man central defence. Interesting to see what Philippe Clement's thinking behind that was when we speak to him post-match. Well, if it produces a point, they would certainly argue that it's worked, but there's a long way to go before they've got that in the bag. You would bite your hand off for it right now, I would imagine. Both managers just at the edges of their technical area in almost identical positions, waving their sides forward respectively. Sima couldn't quite bring the ball under control, but it does break for Raskan. Now Lammers just at the edge of the centre circle. He's pulled back, and that's going to be a hooking, is it?
Usually is, yeah.
Well, not Lashy escaping with that one.
Sharp pull. It's a definite sharp pull. Again, like the first half, Rangers have some decent possession so far. At the start of this second half, chance now to put a ball into a decent area. I imagine we just clip this on a slight diagonal.
It's very central, isn't it? So it's a difficult one to play, but just at the edge of the centre circle in Sparta's half, Tavernier and Raskan are over this. Have throwing Goldson and Davies and Suter forward as Tavernier does clip it left-hand side of the penalty. Goldson wins the header downwards, comes for Sima, he can't get the shot away though, and it's poked clear by Vitek. Tavernier's back there and just plays it to Raskan. Raskan's overhit the return pass and Tavernier won't catch it, but Butland's come out of his goal and he keeps it in play and then launches it forward. Down the right-hand side it goes. Lammers gets his head to it, can't keep it in play though. It's going to be a throw into Sparta, about 10 yards away from their own corner flag on their left-hand side. And with 52 on the clock, it's Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
But you can see Rangers are trying to play a bit higher up the pitch. At times they were quite deep in that first half and almost inviting pressure on themselves, but they started this second half with a slightly higher shape to them.
Rangers have been here twice before, losing 1-0 on both occasions. First time round was a European Cup first round match back in 1991, and much more recently it was on the run to the Europa League as Dessers thought he'd done well there, but the ball was out of play, according to the assistant on the far side, as Dessers looked to try and play it back into a dangerous area. He's looking bemused at the officials.
It was out by about a foot, I think. Certainly from up here it looked it. So
Rangers looking to get something from a ground where they haven't taken anything previously, but it was just solitary 1-0 victories on both previous occasions, so historically it's not a fixture that has produced a lot of goals, and certainly you fancy that one would be enough to win it this evening. Sparta certainly looking the more likely to provide that as John Suter heads it out of play over on the far side. The Sparta left on the halfway line. It's a throw in to the home side as their fans, with a raucous bunch behind that goal of Jack Butland, lift the noise levels once more. Jensen plays it to his right hand side to Vitek. Vitek comes forward, and down the right hand side is the substitute Thomas Wiener moving away from Sima. It's a good ball forward for Lashy. Lashy right hand side, and now Karabets takes over up against Ben Davies, comes infield into the box it goes. The attempted back heel didn't come off there from Wiesner, and Rangers can break. Down the left hand side they come on the counter, and it's Cantwell that's leading it. Sima is with him. Infield he goes, Cantwell. Now Raskan just touches it to Lammers, and there's another just slightly awkward ball from Lammers. Sima does pick up though, left hand side of the box, lifts it into the penalty area, headed away by Panak, and it's a Sparta Prague player who's there on the seconds, and it's Lashy playing a long ball forward. On the counter now comes Sparta. It's Bermanchevich up against Suter. Rangers trying to get bodies back. Bermanchevich into the box, tries the reverse pass there for Kukta, who's well blocked off by Davies, who'd matched his run. Still Kukta picks up, finds the pass into the back post. Wiesner's there, but Butland's able to gather, and it's 54.5 played. Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Another really good counter-attack, this time from Sparta down that left-hand side. A ball over the top. Bermanchevich, who's been causing all sorts of problems, cutting in, tries to slip it through, and actually it was a really good block in the end from Ben Davies to prevent the shot. It was the first kind of real moment of real quality in this second half from Sparta.
Yeah, certainly the two players that are playing off Kukta and Bermanchevich and Karabets both look to have a lot of quality coming forward. There's another slack pass from Tavernier, this time looking for Lammers, can't find him. Here come Sparta on the left hand side, ball into the box, is knocked behind by Suter. Rangers are their own worst enemies in this game.
Exactly, Al. The amount of times they've given the ball away in dangerous areas. This time it was Tavernier putting pressure on yourselves. Sparta immediately countered, and it was actually a really good block this time by John Suter. I don't know how many blocks there's been tonight from shots and crosses. Don't know how long it can last.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? 10 minutes gone in this second half. Still no goals, but Sparta have a corner kick left hand side, looking to find the breakthrough goal. And it comes, it's glanced towards goal, and it's away by Davies, a couple of yards off the line. Not sure if it was goal bound, but Davies wasn't taking any chances. Heads it clear. Here's Lashy from the edge of the box. We know he can hit them from distance. He goes left hand side instead to Bermanchevich. Left hand side of the penalty area. Back in it comes, right across goal, and no takers. And out for a throw into Rangers. And it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
He's just so dangerous when he runs with the ball. Bermanchevich again getting towards the byline, flashes across in, probably just a wee bit too much on it, couldn't pick out a teammate. Sparta up in the tempo just the last couple of minutes.
Vitek's header was certainly going to cause problems before Ben Davies stuck his head in the way of it. Not sure if it was going to beat Jack Butland, but certainly Davies couldn't take any chances whatsoever. Still, Rangers have the clean sheet, but Sparta come forward once more. Goldson gets the header clear, slipped by Lundstrom, it's picked up by Lashy, midway inside the Rangers half, turns back the way, away from Lammers. And now it's Rinesh over on that far side, finding Birmancevic, left-hand side, cutting in away from Tavernier. Back for Rinesh, onto the left foot, looking to get the shot off. Instead he slips it to Birmancevic, and Souters again in the way, and he knocks it behind for another corner. But,
there's a bit of momentum growing out. His fans can feel it in the stadium, short corner.
Yeah, but the referee
took it too quickly.
Yeah, I think the referee is indicating there's maybe a check going on, which is why he wants the corner taken again. Now he's waved it on now, so it was a quick check, whatever it was, and again it is taken short. And then it comes back to Lashy, about 30 yards from goal, on the right foot this time. Out came Lundstrom to block. Breaks to the left-hand side again. Lashy will pick up on the pass. Rinesh, and then knocked on by Karinen. A little back heel there for Birmancevic. Rinesh gets the ball into the near post, knocked away by Goldson, high into the stands, over on the far side. Rangers having to absorb an awful lot of pressure still in this game. Somehow they have not conceded as yet, but in comes the ball. It's a big chance for Kuchta, and it's wide. Kuchta, what, 9 yards from goal perhaps, just tried to sight-foot it back where it came from, and Butland saw it drift about 2 or 3 yards wide of his right-hand post. But surely Rangers cannot survive another half an hour or so of this.
Yeah, it's relentless. That was a big opportunity again to the byline. This time it was cut back. It was a wee over, which I think caught Kuchta out. Didn't see it till very late. Gets a side foot on it, but puts it about a metre past the post. But yeah, only from 8 yards out. That was proper chance, that one.
Goldson. It's a good pass out to Sima on the left-hand side, just inside the Sparta half. Rangers could do with something positive to cling on to here. Sima takes it up towards the corner flag, then gives a good pass into the box for Cantwell. It's a cross goal, comes back for Lundstrom, takes a touch, then he goes for goal straight into the arms of Peter Jensen. The first time he's been called into action in the entire game. 59 minutes in, it's Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
The shot was tame. It was really good play between Sima and Cantwell. Ball eventually coming to Lundstrom at the edge of the box, takes his touch, sets himself, didn't get enough power in the shot, straight at Jensen and the Sparta Prague goal, but better for Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, I must agree with what Derek was saying both the pre-match and at half-time, and I don't know what it is that both Michael Beale and Philippe Clement continue to see in Sam Lammers, but he must be some player in training, but you just don't see it in the game so far.
Well, he's been anonymous this evening. He really has been. At times he looks a bit ungainly, other times he looks as though he's got decent technique, but the be-all and end-all, I think, when you're a forward-type player or a creative player is, what does he create? And not a lot.
Here's Kuchta at the other end, right-hand side of the penalty area, tracked by Goldson. Kuchta almost lost control of the ball. Goldson able to get the challenge in. It's out for a throw-in down near the corner flag, but yeah, you would have to imagine, Derek was saying you'd prefer to see Scott Wright on there, and
move Cantwell in to the 10. Yeah.
He would offer more, surely. Rangers badly missing the likes of Tom Lawrence though at the moment. They need these kind of players. Kamal Roof also missing from the Rangers squad tonight. Rabbi Matondo, who started the season in reasonable form, not involved either, as Birmancevic takes the corner kick, flicked onto the near post, but Butland able to gather inside his 6-yard box and immediately bowls it out underarm. Tavernier coming forward, Rangers trying to go in the counter. Diagonal ball played for Dessers. Dessers up to the edge of the penalty area, left-hand side, slips but still manages to keep possession. Left-hand side of the box, can he pick out a teammate? Lays it back to Cantwell, 25 yards from goal, but Dessers penalised for the challenge there on Wiesner. That is a strange decision by the referee.
Can't see why a foul would have been given there. He cuts inside. Does he stand on his toe or something? Maybe just catches the top of his foot, but it's a foul for me. Dessers showing his disgust to the referee.
Well, he got his goal in the end at the weekend.
Yeah,
he had a couple of chances prior to that, even in the lead up to Sima's second goal. He was had a shot blocked in the line, I think it was by the arm of Paul Hanlon, but the penalty wasn't required as Sima finished it off, and Dessers must have been wondering what he had to do to score. Eventually finished with good composure, actually. He took his goal well, finish. But
he's struggled, he's toiled. He really has. I think his confidence has been low. you're going to get chances when you play for Rangers, especially at Ibrox. So you've just got to kind of keep your wits about you, keep your confidence going, keep going for the next chance. And it should have done his confidence the world of good getting that goal on Saturday. It's been another tough evening for him tonight, though. At times his link-up play hasn't been great. He's not had a lot to work with in terms of service. He's tried to offer himself over the top whenever he can for the ball over the top. Slack again, Butland this time.
Butland is the latest guilty party. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side to Sparta Prague, 25 yards from the corner flag. Sparta working on that left with Birmancevic, who every time he gets on the ball looks like he's going to do something. The same hasn't really been the case for Rangers forward players. Here is Vitek coming forward from the back down the right hand side. Dessers chases him back. Wiesner challenged well by Sima. He's done the defensive stuff pretty well, to be fair to Sima, as Dessers has his jersey pulled but does get the ball back to Davies, who in turn plays it into the box, his own box for Goldson. He knocks it forward long. Sima on. Dessers can't do anything with it, anything meaningful, and it just falls for Panak, the Sparta captain. He plays it forward down the right hand side for Kukta. He's tracked all the way by Goldson. It's the challenge in, foul actually, and over on the left hand side Goldson penalised, and referee's going to book him for that, which again seems maybe a little bit harsh, but Goldson...
He was a wee bit late into the back of was it Kukta?
Yeah.
Just watch it now on the monitor. Oh, it's not a yellow for me. It's not a yellow. But a couple of those tonight. Souters one I felt was a bit harsh as well.
The home fans swirling the scarves, which is also reminiscent of what the Hearts fans do, as we are about to see Rangers make a change. It is going to be Scott Wright who will come on for just under half an hour, probably around half an hour when you take into account injury time and so on. And it's Todd Cantwell who's coming off. I mean, I can only imagine that's because
he's been out for a wee period of time. Yeah, he has looked a wee bit leggy in this last 5-10 minutes, and Wright will certainly give them the option of pace.
On comes Scott Wright then, 64 minutes on the clock, still no goals, but I'm sure that's not a substitution that Philippe Clement would have ideally wanted to make at this stage, because Cantwell certainly offers you more than some of the players who are on there. As the free kick comes in from the left hand side, away from the edge of the box by Tavernier, but picked up by Lashy. Lashy tries to play it in behind Sima, but Ben Davies was on the cover there and knocks it out of play on this near side, as Sparta also look to go to their bench for a couple of changes by the looks of it. It's going to be Karabets, the first player to be replaced. On will come Victor Olatunji, and the other player going off is Lashy, and on will come Lukasz Sadilek in the middle of the park. So a double change for Sparta as Olatunji comes on, to great applause from the home fans, and likewise Sadilek, who will just replace Lashy in the middle of the park. Lashy had a couple of really good efforts from distance. So that's 3 changes in total made by Sparta now, as one of those that was made earlier and forced. Thomas Wiesner prepares to take the throw-in on the right-hand side, midway inside the Rangers half. Sima cuts it out before Olatunji can get there. And it's out of play for another throw in, which Birmancevic will come across and try and launch in. It's about 25 yards from the corner flag on the right hand side, and they'll try and get this one again into the penalty area. Rangers have dealt pretty well, touch wood, with these so far.
A few scary moments, but yeah, they have.
25 to play, still goalless in Prague, as actually it's Sadilek who's going to take this throw, and he's got a long throw as well. That's right into the 6-yard box. John Suter won it. That should be a corner, indeed it is. It's a good header from Suter. He's been more commanding actually than I've seen him at times in this game, John Suter. He and Connor Goldson and Ben Davies, to a slightly lesser extent, have put their heads in and won more or less everything that's come into the box. With more to defend here. 66 in, still 0-0. But still Sparta looking by far and away the more likely side. to break the deadlock as the corner kick's about to be taken. Right hand side, Karainen left footed to the edge of the box, and this time it's Goldson who gets it clear. Be picked up by Bermanchevich, finds Karainen again, a little back heel looking to link with Bermanchevich, but Scott Wright was in there, but it breaks for Bermanchevich down the right hand side. Looking to play it back to Kadalek, actually tries to take on Raskan, who stuck to his task, manages to get it clear. Rangers can't keep the ball, and managed to pinch it though. It's Raskan, gets it back from Dessers, out to the right hand side he looks, but he comes to the left instead, and it's Sima. Scott Wright wanted the ball instead. He tries the big switch to Lammers, which is a tough ball to play, and he doesn't really come off, and Tavernier's beaten to it by Olatunji, who manages to keep possession and then plays it to Kuchta. Kuchta, big switch of play out to the left hand side now for Rinesh. Left hand side of the penalty area. Across goes John Suter to try and close him down. Rinesh on the left foot, trying to get the ball back into the box. Again, Suter's done really well, and it breaks away. Tavernier at the edge of the penalty area. Rangers can come forward. Midway point in the second half, and it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0. And I've certainly not had any updates in my ear about the other game in the group between Aris and Betis, and I'm reassured that it is still goalless in that one as well, which would be
some group
something of a shock.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Rangers have still got a bit to do, but if they were to see out this game with a 0-0, it'd be an incredible result given the pressure at times that they've been under.
Raskan under real pressure there from Karainen, but he manages to keep the ball, then gets it to Suter. Suter forward for Scott Wright, who's just got into the 10 position with the Lammers out on the right hand side, and Sima left in behind Dessers as Sparta pick up once more, and they're invited forward. It's Sorensen, and now on the left hand side Bermanchevich. Lammers goes across to try and close down, but Bermanchevich gets it on the left hand side of the penalty, lifts it to the edge of the box where it comes to Sadalite, the substitute. Right hand side, and Sadalite once more picks up back post ball. Bermanchevich looking interested, but Tavernier did just enough to cover him off and manages to get it clear to Lammers on the right hand side. Rangers look to try and bring it forward. Lammers stays cool under pressure, finds Tavernier. Now it's Suter on the edge of his own penalty area. Look how high Sparta are pressing. They've got 5 men up there on that press, and Rangers forced to go long. Scott Wright then fouls his opponent, and it'll be another Sparta free kick. 9 minutes on the clock, but it is still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, when Rangers have managed to win the ball back and get it up front to whether it's Dessers and this time Wright, they've not really managed to secure possession to allow the rest of the Rangers team to get out and get a breather. It's just relentless pressure, but they've nicked it back here.
Yeah, that was Scott Wright, and that's going to be a booking for the Sparta captain Philippe Panak for bringing Wright to the ground after he'd stolen possession from him. And Rangers will have the free kick just inside their own half, and the referee wants it taken again. Not quite sure why. John Lundstrom will get another go at it. Just 20 minutes to go then. Rangers trying to see this one out, desperate for a point from it. I mean, if they could nick a winner, my goodness, that would be robbery almost. But yeah, a point, as Derek was pointing out before the game, would be an excellent result, and certainly on the balance of what we've seen before us this evening in Prague, it would go down as a tremendous result. Here's Lammers midway inside the Sparta half. His ball forward is not good enough though, and it breaks away of Peter Jensen, the Danish goalkeeper, who has been pretty much untroubled all night. He has had a John Lundstrom shot to save in the second half, but it was straight at him and no real problem for the Danish goalkeeper, who launches it looking for Olatunji, but Davis is there ahead of him. He's had a pretty decent game, you'd have to say, at the left hand side of that back three for Rangers. It's out of play on the far side for a Rangers throw-in as Philippe Clement patrols his technical area. I think he's just thinking about another change, just turning to have a conversation with one of his staff as Ryan Jack and Danilo go through their paces down below us on the touchline. Butland's put under pressure there from Olatunji, has to eventually race into the clearance, and then Davies plays it off Kuchta, who's come out to the right hand side since Olatunji's come on. He's played through the middle instead of him, and Kuchta taking that position that Karabets was patrolling prior to his departure. Davies takes the throw in for Rangers, back into the penalty area to Goldson, and then further back into the 6-yard box for Butland, who takes a couple of touches and then goes long looking for Dessers. He's easily seen off though by Vitek. As Raskan though picks up the loose ball in midfield, turns away from Kuchta. Forward he comes, the Belgian, slips it to the left-hand side for Sima. Sima coming up towards the penalty area on the left-hand side, teases it into the box. Dessers lays it back. Scott Wright blazes it high and way over the bar. Really poor effort from Scott Wright in a good position, and it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0. 72 minutes on the clock.
Should have done better. Again, it was Sima down this left-hand side, plays a ball into the box, a hopeful one. Dessers manages to get a touch on it, lays it just to the edge of the box. Scott Wright on his right foot, set up nicely for him to hit it. Really should have been making the goalkeeper work at the very least, put it high into the stand.
Yeah, he hasn't scored since the Scottish Cup final against Hearts a couple of seasons back, so not the most prolific Scott Wright when he does get a chance in the Rangers team. And certainly that finishing is part of the reason why. Goldson gets there before Olatunji and just forces the ball forward. Dessers backing in to Vitek. Scott Wright trying to keep it interesting for Rangers in the final third. Lundstrom also battling away as Sima picks up left-hand side. Can't get the better of Wiesner though, and Wiesner comes away with possession. He's given it away to Lundstrom though, still inside the Sparta half. Now Davies finds a good ball forward for Scott Wright. He gets turned 30 yards from goal, inside to Lammers. Lammers further out to the right-hand side, edge of the box is Tavernier on the angle, up against Rinesh, back to Suter. I don't think that's what he intended, but he does find Wright. Now into the box, it's Tavernier. Tavernier looking for Dessers, can't find the pass. Now Sima inside the box, 12 yards out, can't find room for the shot, and it breaks away from him. Still Rangers have it though, as Lammers tries to curl on, but that's over the top. And with 73.5 played in Prague, it's Sparta 0, Rangers 0, as Danilo prepares to come on for Dessers.
Just wouldn't break for them there, wouldn't set up for Tavernier, and then for Wright. Sima won't be able to get a shot away eventually, Lammers does, but high and over the top again. Yeah, frustrating night for Dessers again. Danilo came on at the weekend, looked reasonably sharp, still got a point to prove. Another of those who's kind of in the category of a lot to prove for Rangers since they were signed in the summer.
Yeah, it was hugely unfortunate for him, of course, in scoring a good goal up at St Johnstone, that he got a really bad injury as Sparta come forward through Olatunji, but it's good sweeping up there by Lundstrom after Goldson had been brushed aside, and Lundstrom then gets the decision from the referee as Olatunji tried to get back at him, and it'll be a free kick to Rangers as Sparta go to their bench once again for another change. It's Jakub Peszek who is going to come on, and well, he can't believe it, and I'm not sure I can believe that Burmancevic is the player who's going to be replaced.
Yeah, well, the guy coming on better be good, because Burmancevic probably been the best player on the pitch tonight. So dangerous every time he gets the ball, taking players on, creating things for Sparta Prague.
He's applauded off. Real Betis have gone one up in Limassol against Aris. It's taken them a while, but they've got the breakthrough. No breakthrough here as yet, with 15 minutes left of the 90 in Prague. It's Sparta 0, Rangers 0 as Rangers take the free kick. Davies goes square to Goldson. Likewise for Suter, up towards Lammers on the right-hand side, just inside the Sparta half. Twists one way, then the other, and then plays it back to Suter, just inside his own half. It's Davies once more, midway inside his own half. Goes long, looking for Sima over the top. Wiesner watches that one all the way though and heads it out of play on this near side. The Rangers left. Cross comes Raskan to take it. Back the way to Davies, just inside Sparta territory. Back to Goldson now. Goldson plays it left-hand side, where Davies plays it to Lundstrom. Now it's forward for Sima, midway inside the Sparta half. He's back to goal. That's a great pass for Scott Wright. Helps it on for Lammers. Lammers, good first touch, sweeps it towards goal. Great save from Jensen as Rangers threaten an unlikely breakthrough. And it was Lammers who guided it towards goal, and Jensen for the very first time forced into a save of any great note, and it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Oh, it's the best chance of the night for Rangers. They really should have scored there. It was great play again on this left-hand side. The ball into Raskin, pokes it forward to Lammers, probably just at the edge of the box, only the keeper to beat. It was a good save. perfect height for the goalie.
Corner kick Rangers, Ben Davies, left-hand side, outswinger. John Suter was flying in there. Sparta can't get it clear, won't quite fall for Lundstrom though, and it's knocked out of play by Pesek.
These last 5 minutes been Rangers' best spell in the game without a shadow of a doubt. 3 efforts in goal, all right, 2 of them high and wide. That one from Lammers bringing out a really good save from Jensen. Sparta seem to have just gone a wee bit cold.
Yeah, Rangers having probably their best spell, that's for sure, in the entire game. 77 minutes just ticking round, and it's still goalless in the Czech capital. Sparta Prague will be very keen to get the 3 points before they head to Ibrox in a couple of weeks' time, the 9th of November, that one. We'll have that live for you, of course, on Sportsound. Remember, it's Aberdeen against Pauk, the conquerors of Hearts. Coming up after this game as Rangers come forward once more. It's Raskan out to Sima, left-hand side of the penalty area, cuts in on the right foot, tries to bend it, took a deflection, nodded down by Wright. Sparta, for the moment, are the ones on the back foot for the very first time in the game as Tavernier picks up right-hand side. Rangers can just stiff. There might be more than a point in this game. Scott Wright tries a little interchange in the edge of the box. That breaks down and Sparta will come forward, and it's Olatunji, and they're throwing men forward in this counter-attack. Olatunji. Pesek is racing through the middle. Davies has read the pass though. Across he comes to the right-hand side of the box and gets a good clearance as Sparta threatened to break Rangers on the counter.
Yeah, they had a 3v3 there. It was a careless ball in the end from Olatunji. If he's more careful with his pass, Rangers have been under pressure. But again, Davies reading the situation well, getting across to clear it. That really was, you know, a really good spell that last five or so minutes for Rangers.
It's going to be a throw in then to Sparta Prague, about 25 yards from the corner flag on the left-hand side, to be taken by Sadalek. A long one. Golson again gets his head to it first. Raskan can't really make much of it at the edge of the box, but Sima can, and he gets it cleared to Danilo, wearing the protective mask to shield that healing cheekbone. Plays it infield. It's a good ball for Raskan. Raskan looks up, tries to thread it through for Scott Wright. Scott Wright gets turned inside the penalty area, looking to find room for the shot. He's challenged by Vitek. Then Vitek goes down. Wright lashes it into the goal, but he's been penalised for the challenge on Vitek, and it will remain goalless.
Again, it was good play from Rangers. The ball coming into Scott Wright's feet in the box, and he was a bit weak. He goes down into the ground. I don't know whether he was looking for a penalty. He was just kind of gymmed off the ball, and then I didn't really see what the foul was on the Sparta defender. Seems to be in a lot of discomfort.
Yeah, I think he's just twisted as he fell, and he does seem to be in quite a lot of pain. Martin Vitek. He scored the crucial third goal, as I mentioned earlier, against Aris in the first game. And they won 3-2 in the end. There's another who's come through the academy here, just 20 years old, the centre-back. In the Czech squad, actually, in the recent internationals against Albania and the Faroes, albeit he didn't play. But I'm not sure he'll play much more part in this game as the Rangers players gather in front of their technically a few words of wisdom from Philippe Clement for the final 10 minutes.
10 minutes of play left. Obviously they'll be a bit added on, but if anything, Rangers have looked the more likely to score in the last 5-10 minutes. Get out of here with a 0-0, it's an incredible result.
Vitek looks uncomfortable as he's held back to his feet. I think Sparta have only got one change left by my reckoning, and it might be that they're forced into it right here. But Vitek just he's certainly hobbling as he exits the park, and again like Preciado before him, not sure he's going to be able to continue for the closing 10 minutes. The free kick will be Sparta's in a few seconds time, with the scoreline still goalless in Prague. It's going to be taken by Peter Jensen, who produced that terrific save to deny Sam Lammers just a few moments ago. Rangers' best opportunity of the evening. Jensen with the free kick. Vitek just trying to run that injury off down behind Jensen's goal at the moment to see whether he can continue. Sima's just run the ball out of play down in front of the Sparta manager's technical area. Brian Priska will feel that his side have done enough in the game to merit the 3 points, but they haven't been able to find a goal as yet with 9 to play. Vitek is back on, but he doesn't look entirely comfortable. But Sparta have it on the left-hand side, and it's Rines with a good ball forward for Sadilek. Sadilek drags Goldson out with him. And now it's picked up on that left-hand side, swung towards the back post. Kukta with a decent first touch, but Sima nicks it off him, and he'll come forward now down the Rangers' left. Taking his side up the park, still Sima's going. Wiesner comes across to try and block him off. Sima then gets a hold of him, drags him to the ground. Sima's not happy. That's just petulant though. He's penalised, and now he's going to go into the book because he bounced the ball off the turf in anger. And Sima, who's been getting the treatment from the home fans whenever he's on the ball for his allegiances to their city rivals Slavia from a few years back, and into the referee's notebook he goes.
Silly booking. I mean, he does well initially to drive forward, gets a good 20 yards up the pitch. Then there's an argument for it's a bit 50-50, but showing his frustration, punching the ball into the ground. Ref wasn't having any of it.
So free kick Sparta Prague with 82.5 played in the Epet Arena in the Czech capital. Jensen preparing to take the free kick midway inside his own half. Goes long, looking for Olatunji, battling away there with Goldson, who wins the header. Lammers helps it on down the right hand side, and then will chase his own knockdown. He felt he was fouled there as he chased it, but Sparta continue. Olatunji flicks it on with his head. Sima gets his head to it, but Olatunji gets it back towards Karinen. And now back once more with Sorensen, the left centre back for Sparta. Now Rines, left hand side, just inside the Rangers half. Sparta going back the way though, and they've given him possession up to Danilo. Danilo brings it up towards the edge of the box, out to the right hand side. Scott Wright forced further wide than he would have liked, but Rangers have it in an attacking area about 15 yards from the corner flag. Wright plays it off the defender, out for a throw-in on that far side. Could have been more promising for Rangers there. A better ball from Danilo.
Yeah, it was just too wide, wasn't it, for Scott Wright. Again, Rangers picking the ball up in a decent area. The kind of threat's gone out of Sparta Prague since they made the substitutions. I really feel as though Karavits and Bermacevic were their top men, certainly for the first 60 or so minutes. The changes haven't really had the same impact, and Rangers have grown into the game.
Rangers have it through John Lundstrom with his back to goal. He gets turned about 10 yards inside the Sparta half. It's forced back the way to Ben Davies, just inside his own half. Kukta closes him down. Pass comes to Lundstrom once more. He steps away from Olatunji and tries to get Rangers further up the park, then plays it square to Raskan. Raskan left hand side. He's got Sima outside of him. Plays the ball into Danilo instead. Now right back to Danilo, just inside the penalty. Goes for goal. It's off the bar from Danilo. I think the keeper might have got a touch on that as well. Onto the bar and behind. And it should be a corner, I think, because I'm sure the goalkeeper got a touch to that. The Rangers players making that point, and eventually the referee points for a corner. But Rangers, just in the last few minutes, have really threatened that Jensen goal.
They have. I've been saying it for the last 10 minutes, maybe even longer than that. Rangers have looked more like the team to score. It was a give and go. Danilo unleashing a left foot volley from a really acute angle, catches it so sweetly. The keeper must have just got a fingertip to it. It smashes the face of the crossbar.
Well, having been under the cosh for much of the game, Rangers threatening a winner here in the closing stages. 5 to play of the 90 as Rangers take the corner. It's cleared, but Tavernier picks up right hand side, manages to get it to Lundstrom. Lundstrom just showing too much of that to Olatunji, but does get the pass away. That cannot possibly be a free kick to Sparta Prague. Lundstrom plays the ball about half a second before Olatunji comes and makes contact.
Incredible decision from the referee, it really is. And for a big guy the size of Olatunji to go down and roll around like he has is embarrassing. How they've won that free kick's beyond me.
Well, Lundstrom, he was on the stretch, certainly.
He wins the tackle.
He plays the ball.
Olatunji runs into him. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy stuff from the referee.
Yeah, well, it is a free kick to Sparta midway inside their own half. As Lundstrom is penalised. He's not one of the Rangers players in a yellow card, so didn't have to worry too much about being penalised for that challenge. As Sparta take it short, play it across the back, and it's Vitek who is still, I can see him wincing as he played the pass there to Wiesner, and then forward for Karinen. Karinen looking for Olatunji. It's a poor ball from the Finnish midfielder all the way through to Jack Butland, who's actually had a pretty quiet half, Tom.
Well, compared to the first half, yeah, there's no doubt about that. I really do feel as though the substitutions that Sparta have made have taken the sting out of it for them. Rangers have played with a wee bit more belief. They've certainly played higher up the pitch, which has helped them. and committed more men into attacks. They've not been quite as wasteful in the last 20 minutes as they were in the first half either.
Long ball from Butland. Scott Wright causing bother. Vitic, though, doing enough to get it clear. Sparta launch it long. Goldson's got time to think about what he wants to do next, and he plays it to Suter. Suter on the halfway line. It's a good ball forward for Raskan. Defence splitter. Here's Raskan. Slips it for Danilo. Danilo, 10 yards out, has blocked. Comes back to Scott Wright. Danilo once more inside the penalty area, just taking it out of the box.
Anything.
Has to go back to Lundstrom. Lundstrom closed down by Olatunji. And he was fouled. There wasn't too much in that one either, I didn't think. But Lundstrom hit the deck, and the referee does give the free kick to Rangers.
territory, this.
Yeah, it's about, what, 30 yards?
Less.
That's not less than 30 yards, is it?
What? That's the 18-yard line there. It's about
yeah, and it's about
3 and
12. 12. What? How can that is not 3 yards from the 18-yard line, Tomo. I mean, not by any stretch of the imagination. If you look at the cut of the grass, there's 3 squares inside the penalty area, and then there's 2 squares beyond that. So that is 12. Right. So it's 30 yards almost exactly.
I actually think I was looking at where the player was lying in the ground and not where the initial contact was.
I'll give you that. Anyway, it is a chance. It is Tavernier territory,
range
that's
before.
for sure. Just slightly right of centre. But Tavernier, who was the Europa League's top scorer on their run to the final 2 seasons ago, and has been so often their talisman. Can he step up and produce the goods? Here he goes. Tavernier, it's a comfortable save in the end from Jensen, who read it, and he had moved across to his left-hand side, and it didn't really look a save particularly spectacular from Tavernier in that. He didn't really get hold of the free kick as he would have wanted.
Yeah.
And with 88 on the clock, it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Probably was just a wee bit far out for him to get the pace that he required to really test Jensen. Jensen read the flight of the ball and gathered it easily.
Well, Rangers would kick themselves if they threw this one away now and lost a late, crucial, decisive goal.
Some turnaround, Al. I mean, you know, from Rangers really being under the cosh, and you're thinking there's only going to be one team scoring. It's been all Rangers certainly for the last wee spell. They've looked at the most likely team to score. Golson
back to Butland. We've got less than 2 minutes of the 90 remaining as Rangers try and come forward down the right-hand side. It's Suter. Just in time, pokes another good ball to Raskan. Raskan's got 4 on 4 now as Raskan comes forward. He's got Danilo moving ahead of him. Raskan goes for goal, and he's shanked that away to his right-hand side, buoyed by the fact that he'd scored his first Rangers goal of the weekend, and his eyes lit up there as he moved towards the goal, but he sliced it wide, and it's still Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
Sparta are wide open. They're just giving Rangers so much space. And Raskin picked it up in a really good area. Pass from Suter was a good one. He drove a good 20 yards with the ball, and probably was right to take it on. He did have options. I'd have fancied it myself at that range. Really got the shot all wrong, slicing across it.
Golson was a good header up towards Danilo, just inside the Sparta half. Gets turned towards the Sparta goal. Looked like a decent challenge on him though, and Sparta get it back. We're into the final few seconds of the 90. Just waiting to see what the fourth official has in mind, as Sparta and Olatunji are penalised for a shove there on John Suter midway inside the Rangers half. There's Florian Badstubner, who's the fourth official. Another German stands with the board, and he's about to display 5 minutes to be added on here. Is there to be a winner in the Epet Arena as Rangers prepare to take a free kick? Midway inside their own half, Jack Butland has been invited to get a move on. So 5 minutes for either side to find a winner. 5 minutes for either side to hold on for the point. What will it be? Raskan for Wright down the left-hand side. Wright gets spin towards goal. Good play from Wright. Eventually overruns it, but it breaks for Raskan on the goal line. Stands up to the back post. It's not a bad ball. Tavernier can't do anything with it. Does break for Davies, left-hand side. Looks forward. Wants an option. Raskan was coming back from an offside position, I think, and Ben Davies can only knock it out of play. Disappointing end to that particular move for Rangers. We've played one of the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Sparta 0, Rangers 0. This game is there for the taking if Rangers can just create one more chance, but they've given the ball away in a bad area. Here comes Olatunji. Golsing on back at him. Olatunji's got away from him. Big chance for Sparta. Olatunji square. Oh, he can't pick out Peshek. That was the moment, surely, for Sparta to win it. And Olatunji lost his composure, couldn't find his teammate, and the gaping goal was not penetrated.
It's a huge let-off, it really is. He outpaces Goldson. All he's got to do is square it, pick his teammate out who's in the middle of the 6-yard box for a tap-in, and he gets the cut back all wrong. I mean, Olatunji, since he's come on, he's certainly added a physical presence, but technically he's nowhere near the players that he's replaced.
That is a huge let-off. Just as I was saying, the game was there for Rangers, it was there for Sparta to clinch the 3 points, but Olatunji playing the pass behind Peshek when it looked easier to pick him out for a tap-in at the back post, with Rangers completely exposed. Here comes Sparta again. Golson and Butland get almost in a mix-up, but Butland claims it. Oh, I could just see that unfolding and breaking into the back of the net, but Golson thanks Butland, who's gone down, clutching his head. Not sure if he was hurt there as he collided with Golson.
Yeah,
but
I think he just caught Golson's kind of hip or side of his body, but it's actually really good goalkeeping because he's commanded. He comes and takes charge of the situation. You're right, it was one of those where somebody could have left it thinking the other's going to take it, but the goalkeeper takes command of the situation and catches it cleanly.
Well, this is a game that could have gone either way. Sparta dominating the opening hour, certainly the first half, but Rangers come right back into it, had big chances of their own, only to almost throw it away in injury time, but let off by Olatunji's poor pass. Butland eventually back on his feet and clears long. Sima will chase that, and he'll just manage to keep that from going behind for a goal kick. It'll be a throw-in instead to Sparta, deep in their own territory. We've played 3 minutes of the 5 added on. The Sparta wing-back stealing what, 10, 12 yards. He's been sent back now towards the corner flag before he takes his throw-in.
Still 10 yards.
Yep. Does take it down the line. Sima gets his head to it. Danilo will go up and flick it on towards the goal. But cleared away. Davies picks up for Rangers, knocks it down the left-hand side. Wiesner with the header. Lundstrom and Davies go up there. Davies knocks it forward. Sima helping it on. Danilo will give chase. Panak there first. Heads out of the penalty area. Wiesner has given it straight to Danilo on the left-hand side. Now it's Sima. Back for Raskan. Tries to pick out a cross, but it breaks back instead for Lundstrom. That's a terrible pass from Lundstrom for Suter, and Peshek can break forward. Such a good opportunity for Lundstrom to find the teammate. He's recovered well, to be fair, but he had to because it was his own mistake. Now he is on the halfway line. Forward for Lammers. Lammers looks tired now after another insipid performance from him. We've played 4 of the 5 added on at the end of this game. It's still goalless. It's still there for either side to go and win it in the closing minute. Is there to be a hero? Is there to be incredible late drama before we cross the Pittodrie for the second game of the evening as Aberdeen take on Pauk? That'll be a tough contest for them, as Goldson has possession at the back for Rangers. Clips it forward, looking for Danilo. Looks like just a little bit too long for him, and it is. And he can't bring it under control. It'll be a goal kick to Sparta. We've got 30 seconds of injury time left. It's Sparta 0, Rangers 0.
At half-time I would have to have said, you know, if Rangers get through this and get a 0-0, they'd have been lucky, they'd have been an incredible point. But actually, in this second half, for the last 20 minutes, Rangers could have gone on to get all 3 points, which would have been a remarkable result for them. But even if it is, this is still a great result.
Yeah, just seconds left as Goldson gets his head to the clearance. Danilo will give chase. Panak will surely get there ahead of him and heads it back to his goalkeeper. 5 minutes of added on time are up, and the referee blows the final whistle. It is a good point in the end for Rangers as it finishes goalless in Prague. It's a scoreline that did not look likely in the opening half as Sparta peppered Rangers' goal. Jack Butland was called upon on numerous occasions, first to keep out an effort from Birmancevic, who was so dangerous early on for Sparta, and then on the rebound from Lashi, who also volleyed just wide in the midway point of that first period. Rinesh had a shot saved as well before John Lundstrom was forced into a despairing saving tackle to deny Vitek the opening goal in that first half. Second half started pretty much in the same vein as Vitek had a header cleared just about off the line from Ben Davies, but then Rangers began to come into it on the hour mark. Lundstrom had a shot saved as Jensen was called into action for the first time. Lammers had a shot with 15 minutes to play that was probably Rangers' best opportunity, but that was a good save from Jensen on that occasion before Danilo's volley from a tight angle was touched onto the bar by the keeper as Rangers threatened a winner in the closing stages. And right at the death, Olatunji had a brilliant opportunity to go and win it for Sparta into injury time. He could either shot himself or pick out Peszek in the middle for a tap-in. He could do neither as the pass went behind Peszek and away to safety. And so in Prague, Rangers, they don't win, but they have got a point on their travels, which could yet be a precious one ahead of the return in a couple of weeks' time at Ibrox. It finishes in Prague. Sparta 0, Rangers 0.